My friends all drive Porsches. I must make amends. Worked hard all my lifetime. No help from my friends. So, oh Lord, won't you buy me a Mercedes Benz? Oh Lord, won't you buy me a color TV? Dialing $4 is trying to find me. I wait for delivery each day until 3. So, oh Lord, won't you buy me a color TV? Oh Lord, won't you buy me a night on the town? I'm counting on you, Lord. Please don't let me down. Prove that you love me and buy the next round. Oh Lord, won't you buy me a night on the town? Everybody, oh Lord, won't you buy me a Mercedes Benz? My friends all drive Porsches. I must make amends. Worked hard all my lifetime. No help from my friends. So, oh Lord, won't you buy me a Mercedes Benz?
So here we are at tantalk1340.com and 106.1 FM, and we're talking about the individual, the existence of the human individual and human individual's needs. Janis Joplin sang that in a song about striving for her own self-interest. The United States is a country that was founded on the principle that the individual does exist, and then Republicans declared a revolution. In 1994, Newt Gingrich declared the revolution. In 1995, violent mercenary armed class war on the streets of Sterling Heights, Michigan and Detroit over destroying labor unions. Recently, Starbucks was in front of a Senate panel defending their right to destroy labor unions. The idea being that corporations can have unions, but individual human beings do not exist and can't have rights. It's called the Federal Election Law of 1971. The two multi-million-dollar bribe-taking cartels call it the Federal Election Law. I call it the Peasant Reduction Act. In this act, you have to prove that you have taken bribes, prove that you have a big pile of money, and you're incorporated. Absolutely nothing to do with the U.S. Constitution. And so Don from Largo, Don Hackett Jr., buys this radio airtime to say we could have a constitutional republic. We don't have to be stuck in only corporations with a big pile of money who take bribes can have political existence. It's my opinion that these two private multi-million-dollar bribe-taking political corporations known as the Democrat Party and the Republican Party are not described in the Constitution. Human individuals are described in the Constitution, like Janis Joplin screaming out for her individual place in society. And apparently she was also trying to overcome drugs. A lot of famous people have died over the drug problem. Whitney Houston, Elvis Presley, Michael Jackson, to name a few. So be that as it is, in this disjointed start of the show, we're here at TAN Talk 1340, also known as 106.1 FM. And there's another couple of ancillaries that this company has in their bag. Let's see.
1350, 1400, 102.3, and 104.3 in Pasco County.
So those are different local radio air stations, and you can tantalknetwork.com will get you the network page, and you can click on Facebook or somehow get a video representation of the show, which isn't much. It's me sitting behind a microphone for my last hurrah. I can't afford to do any more radio airtime. I've had paid for their four broadcasts, and they're all repetitive. They all say about the same thing. the federal election law of 1971 is totally anti-constitutional. The Republican Revolution, in which corporations have rights, including the right to do violent armed class war. Now, Donald Trump is standing up and saying, if you dare to enforce the law on me, there'll be violence, threatening violence. There'll be violence. The Rupert Murdoch put a picture of him with a baseball bat standing over the guy who's doing the investigation. I forget his name. But there's many investigations going on over the violent insurrection on January 6th, wherein Trump incited a riot and people died. In a normal society where there isn't such a thing as a normal society because we find society disintegrating left and right all over the board. Haiti, Mexico, Israel. I don't know about the England. I think they're having trouble too trying to keep it together. And my experience is that human individuals are having trouble keeping it together also. We basically in this country have a 5 major corporation form of government. The most recent one is a new class of landlords who are buying up real estate. Some people say it's from a company called Blackwater with different company names, buying up property at more than the asking price so that the nation can be turned into a rental economy rather than a capitalist society where individuals would have the rights to determine anything. Individuals have the right to determine nothing. To me, the most famous example of this is Ronald Reagan giving Rupert Murdoch the right to control both audio, video, print media in order for him to win the state of New York. Before Ronald Reagan, a corporationist, gave Rupert Murdoch this right to control all media in the state. The nation was trying to keep one person or one group of people to have total control over the message. I think somebody named McLean or McLuhan wrote a book, The Media is the Message. And the media is the message. We can no longer look at the tube, listen to the radio, or in any way decide what's real. You know, we have our own daily struggles, like Janis Joplin was singing in the song. We all ask God to make it right for us, but there's a lot of confusion there, a lot of deliberate confusion. I've been a candidate for president of the United States since 1987. I've declared every election cycle since that time to the Federal Election Commission, Democrat and Republican National Committee, St. Pete Times, then the Tampa Bay Times, Detroit Free Press, and I advertise on my big van. In my hand, I have about at least a half-inch, maybe three-quarter-inch documents filed in federal court asking for the United States Constitution to be recognized. It isn't currently recognized. Currently, we run by the federal election law of 1971 and the Citizens United ruling, where 5 Republican corporation lawyers on the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that the United States is an oligarchy and that corporations can spend any amount of money to influence the formation of public opinion. Like Ronald Reagan giving Rupert Murdoch exclusive right to control all forms of media, like walking into a party store on Clearwater Beach and seeing the New York Post there with a picture of Joe Biden walking away with the big word coward on it. Total control of the public mind by the corporation part of society. No rights for the human individual. I've been arrested twice trying to stand up to the top dollar Fourth Reich. Third Reich was master race. Fourth Reich is master money. I go through this every show. It's no different. There's a saying that insanity is repeating the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. I kind of think, and I kind of hope, that I'm not talking into an empty microphone. I kind of hope that this microphone is going out nationwide and worldwide, and it's not ending right here with this room. When I drive my big van around that's parked in my driveway right now, I get comments every week or all the time. You got it exactly right. That's exactly what they do. They do total control of the mind, total control of the media, total control of everything that's coming into your ears and face. Somebody's writing all of the scripts for these low-bottom TV shows like King of Queens and Mom and Big Bang Theory. The thing is with this new TikTok thing, they're wondering whether the Chinese communists have access to TikTok, and it's not any big deal. It's understanding where the soul of America is by understanding all of the actions that are happening on this mass media that's contributed to by about 150 million people. The leader of the TikTok organizations came to say that, the Chinese communists don't control us and they don't have access. But they do. Communism is controlled from the top with the myth that it's controlled from the bottom. The Chinese have an overreaching influence on the whole concept of everything that happens in their country, and they're acting on a global basis to control things like a lithium mine in Afghanistan and both ends of the Panama Canal and ownership of the Long Beach port. There is total control of the thing with the communists is that they can get total control, whereas the corporation situation in the United States is these corporations don't necessarily think on a global long-term basis. But since the Chinese communists have total control of the whole fabric of the direction of the country and now getting to the direction of the world, they can create the mind, the public mind. I'm just one human being. My name is Don Hackett Jr., Don from Largo.com, JustPeopleAre.com, Subhuman.us, 3 ways to reach the same page. The page says what I've already said 3 or 4 times: the individual does not exist. The individual has no rights. We're running on a nation and an idea that only corporations have existence. It's codified into law with the Citizens United ruling. I filed a brief with the U.S. Supreme Court in the matter of Citizens United. It was given the case number 09-14477-E, possibly 2E, 09-14477-E, filed in the United States District Court, Tampa, United States Court of Appeals in Atlanta, and the U.S. Supreme Court Solicitor General and the United States Supreme Court in 2009, when these 5 corporation lawyers were deciding to rule this nation as an oligarchy. So I'm overstated and restated, and the call-in number is 727-441-3000, 727-441-3000. If you want to call in and tell me about if you think that the United States is a constitutional republic or a top dollar Fourth Reich, totally controlled by corporatocracy, and or one of the other things that I'm interested in is all these scam calls that I get all day. This morning, between 1 and 2, 1 and 1:30 Eastern time, I get a call telling me that my Amazon account's been charged $600 and it's going to come out of my bank account. I got another call saying that that they're going to take $2,000 from Walmart out of my checking account for some type of computers that have been charged. I only have $3,700 in my checking account, and I have to give all of it to an air conditioner company on Friday. It's scary. And then they say, punch this number if you want to protest the $600 charged on your Amazon account. I don't have an Amazon account. Or press this number if you want to challenge the $2,000 charged on out of Walmart. So the scam calls, it comes up on my phone, scam calls. I understand that if you press any number, you give them total access to everything on your phone, which is everything in your computer, everything in your Facebook, everything in all of your accounts. But if you don't, you sit there. I sit there all day long with this aching feeling that I'm going to be totally bankrupt. As in, I won't be able to buy the new air conditioner on Friday because the $3,700 I'm hoping to be there won't be there. Because it's been taken today. I called and checked my balance on the way in. I'm still got that razor thin margin that I'll be able to pay that account. When I leave this radio station at 3 o'clock, I'm going to try to drive a rideshare job and hope that I can get $100 before I go to sleep around 9 o'clock tonight. And then do it again tomorrow, maybe make another $100 in the morning before the guys get there to put in the new AC, and I'll have the $3,700 that they need. It's kind of like living close to the edge with having people calling me on the telephone all day long, or at least every day, telling me that criminals are going to take my money, what little money I have. And it's happening to a whole bunch of people all over. It's not just donfromlargo.com. We're on the air at TAN Talk Radio Network, FM 106.1, AM 1340, tantalknetwork.com. The call-in number is 727-441-3000. This is my last radio show. I can't afford it anymore. I'd been doing this off and on for about 20 years, buying the radio time, saying the same thing, repeating the same thing, expecting different results. We could have a constitutional republic. Now that the internet's matured, we no longer need to say that 63% of the population, human individuals who struggle to get through from payday to payday, do not exist. That's the federal election law of 1971. I call it the Peasant Reduction Act. We establish a peasant population with no political existence, rights, and voice. Oh, my leg's cramping up. Anyways, I got nothing more to say. Play the Lonely Boy song, Bobby, if you got the Lonely Boy song.
I'm just a lonely boy. Lonely and blue. I'm all alone with nothing to do. I've got everything you could think of, but all I want is someone to love. Someone, yes, someone to love. Someone to kiss. Someone to hold. At a moment like this, I'd like to hear somebody say, I'll give you my love each night and day. I'm just a lonely boy, lonely and blue. I'm all alone with nothing to do. I've got everything you could think of, but all I want is someone to love. Somebody, 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 please.
So Don from Largo.com, TanTalk1340.com, 106.1 FM, Clearwater, Florida. I guess that's my song. I'm just an old guy. Pretty much nobody wants me. I want to look around and try to find someone, but all I can find is women to throw money at that I don't have. You know, if I got 50 cents extra, they want $1.25. And I can't do that. I don't have that. And how do you solve the lonely boy symptom? If you're a senior citizen, I'm almost dead, 77 years old. Some of my friends and both of my wives have died at, one lived to be 84 and the other one lived to be 75. And but you don't give up, you keep looking and hoping and grasping. Oh, there must be someone out there to go around with, to live life with, to hug and squeeze and cuddle. And it's not easy because there's a lot of people who just need you. I like everything about you except you. Now, give me your money, your house, and everything you have and get out of your life. They're doing it with the telephone scams. They're doing it with every way. The air conditioner company is going to take me for $3,700 cash Friday, and then I give them $500 a month for 10 months. All we want is everything. Now get out of your life and give us everything you have and everything you hope to earn. I don't know. I knew everything when I was 17 or 18 or 12. But I don't know everything now that I'm 77. All that I know that I think I know is that we live in a top dollar Fourth Reich country. The Citizens United ruling and the Federal Reduction Act of 1971, the Peasant Reduction Act of 1971, signed by President Nixon, says we don't exist. Only corporations exist. Ronald Reagan gave Rupert Murdoch the right to control both audio and video and print. We won't be coming back to this station anymore. I'm out of funds, and I've said everything I want to say about 17 times. The phone number to call in is 727-441-3000, 727-441-3000. There's a saying, open up your mouth and prove you're ignorant, or stay silent and let people wonder if you're ignorant. And I certainly am ignorant. I know nothing. Like Colonel Clank on the old Hogan's Heroes show, I know nothing. I know less and less each day. I'm thinking of a song and I can't think of the melody or the tune about knowing nothing. I'm looking at a map of Bradenton and Manatee, and they don't have the bridge across the entrance of Tampa Bay or any of the roads in. When I run the rideshare program, I start out running in Largo, and sometimes I wait for 5 minutes for a run. Yesterday I ran towards Clearwater and wound up getting my first run and going back to where I started my car on the app. Sometimes I get over to North Tampa or up to Port Richey or Hudson. Other times I wind up in Ruskin and Sun City, sometimes in Sarasota. It's kind of an adventure. The problem is that once you get down to Sarasota or Sun City or Hudson, there's not an automatic easy way to get back, so you have to drive back on without a passenger, eating all that gas and all that time, taking away from your net hours to miles, hours to money ratio. On a good day, I can make about $15 to $20 an hour. I had a woman named Yolanda in Detroit last week, She showed me her readout as a Uber driver, and she was up to $849 for just 5 days of part-time work and beginning Saturday. That's not a bad take for somebody who's working 5 or 6 hours a day, instead of working. But you have to put in your own car, your own gas, you have to pay for insurance, you have to pay for the telephone, and then they take about at least a third of the run from you, a third of the dollars in the run. So it's a good thing in that you can start working anytime you want to and quit when you want to. But and it's interesting. It's a really social experience. And I have my radio tuned to 6 music stations for when a passenger's in the car and the air is empty. Nobody wants to talk, just have to drive. And then when I'm on the car by myself, I can get to 89.7, which is public radio, or 88.5, which is sometimes music and sometimes talk, or some of the Tampa Republican talk radios, the corporatocracy radio, all screaming the same thing. Got to get those corporations the right amount of money. Got to put the money in the pocket of the corporations. There's about 5 corporation groups that are guaranteed profit by this anti-constitutional government run under the federal election law of 1971. These 5 special interest groups are the banking industry, notably MasterCard, Visa, American Express, Discover, are guaranteed a profit. The insurance industry, based on their actuarial tables and the lobby groups that they have in Washington, are guaranteed a profit. The big oil companies are guaranteed a profit. The corporation operators are guaranteed massive wages. The big pharmaceutical industry. I only paid $4 for a drug I picked up at Walgreens a little while ago, but the number on the other side that I don't see might be $100 or $50 or $1,000 because Medicare is eating it. Medicare is eating the right of big pharma to gouge us. We have, as citizens not represented in the government under the Peasant Reduction Act of 1971, also known as the Federal Election Law of 1971, as citizens who are not represented in the government, we have the right to be gouged, used, harvested by these 5 corporations, these 5 major types of corporations that have the right to harvest us. You got the banking, the insurance, the oil, the pharmaceutical. Those are the 4 of them. The new one is the landlord class. Blackwater, or companies controlled by Blackwater, name different things, have the right to get over on us. And the rents are going high. Some of my passengers say they're paying $2,000 a month for a basic apartment. 2 people working 2 jobs have a hard time struggling to get through. Can you get the taxi song played for a little while? And I know it's a 6-minute song. Can you start the taxi song?
I will look it up right now.
And we'll play Taxi. The other thing that interests me is the drug culture, wherein there are a lot of people who are, 5 major celebrities that I named died young of drug overdoses. And the alcohol and crack symptoms in our society are running rampant. Here comes a potential scam again on my telephone. The telephone number to call in is 727-441-3000. I guess Bobby has Taxi ready to play.
It was raining hard in Frisco. I needed one more fare to make my night. A lady up ahead waved to flag me down. She got in at the light. or where you going to, my lady blue? It's a shame you ruined your gown in the rain. She just looked out the window. She said, 16 Parkside Lane. Something about her was familiar. I could swear I've seen her face before. But she said, I'm sure you're mistaken. And she didn't say anything more. It took a while, but she looked in the mirror. Then she glanced at the license for my name. A smile seemed to come to her slowly. It was a sad smile just the same. And she said, how are you, Harry? I said, how are you, Sue? Through the too many miles and the too little smiles, I still remember you. It was somewhere in a fairy tale. I used to take her home.
So here we are again, or here I am again, sitting in this room talking to a microphone, wondering if anybody's there. I doubt it. I really don't think so. I just wasted my money on all this radio time for 20 years, saying the same thing, wondering what to think about, wondering what to talk about. Romance is certainly a big player. How can we find somebody to love, hug, squeeze, talk to, travel through life with, act as if we're in the same room together? How much do we want to be a lonely boy? How much do we have to be a lonely boy? The war against the drug wars with crack on the streets and alcohol on the streets. And started out with a Janis Joplin song singing about, God, won't you buy me the next round, prove that you're real. All this praying for our own salvation on some kind of different level. Not different level, in the same swimming pool. We know for sure that the country's based on the premise that human individuals described in the Constitution are eliminated by the federal election law of 1971. Human individuals described in the United States Constitution do not exist. I don't think we need to have it that way anymore. It was true in 1971 when they wrote the law that every individual would have to, who wanted to be a candidate, would have to buy media time in at least the number of states that they needed to get the Electoral College. But now that the internet's matured, if we didn't automatically say that human individuals do not exist unless we can prove we can buy Rupert Murdoch and USA Today Gannett, we don't have to live under that kind of structure anymore. We don't have to automatically say that those who stand up and say, I am, Jesse Jackson did it in 1987 when I first declared for president. And a lot of people stood up and cheered. But to me, I just go to jail. I go to jail in psychiatric prison. James Coates, Republican sheriff, sent me there in 2010. The Citizens United ruling came out on January 21st, 2010, saying that corporations have the right to total right to influence public opinion with the spending of any amount of money. And then on January 24th of 2010, 3 days after the Citizens United ruling came out that the United States is an oligarchy or a plutocracy or a top dollar Fourth Reich, whatever you want to call it, in which individuals do not exist and corporations do exist. I was arrested at the Unitarian Church in Clearwater, chased over there by the Unity Church representative. And my T-shirt on the back said Don from Largo.com. And on the front it said rated subhuman. And to this day, the Unitarian Church on Nursery Road keeps me from going to that church. I walked into the public areas of that church and took a seat during the service. And the rulers of the Unitarian Church were crushed. Oh my God. He wore a shirt advocating constitutional republic into our public space at our church during the service. So they sent me to jail. And in jail at the 49th Street Hotel, I faced the camera. You know, they have you stand on the dot and look at the camera. I faced the camera and I said, I need legal representation capable of carrying a case to the United States Supreme Court, because I knew that Don from Largo.com had been registered with the U.S. Supreme Court in the matter of Citizens United. And if I was lucky, which I wasn't, they just put me in solitary confinement and sent me to psychiatric prison up on 58th Street. And the next morning, a Dr. Corso looked at the file. He says, "What's this 09-14477-EE?" I said, "Well, you're looking at the front page of my website. That's a case number assigned to my website by the District Court of Appeals in Atlanta." And the Citizens United ruling came out 3 days ago, and now I'm arrested 3 days after the Citizens United ruling came out. You just told me that the only thing you have against me is that I filed an appeal with the U.S. Supreme Court to have human individuals represented. I suggest you let me go. And so after spending one night in psychiatric prison, my wife came and picked me up, and we drove away and got my car out of impound for like $250 over the idea that there is a separation of church and state. The Unitarian Church of Clearwater decided, and the Catholic Church on Belcher and the Unity Church on Nursery Road all decided you can't possibly advocate constitutional republic in the public spaces of our churches. It used to be that people would come forward in church, you know, like accept Jesus Christ as your personal savior, come up to the altar, be saved. They had some famous guy in the big stadium in Tampa doing that, and then they said, "Come forward," and all the people streamed onto the field, and it was supposed to be a big movement, and but most of the people were plants by the Christian organization to move forward at the same time. I came forward with a friend of mine who I was dating at the time. We went onto the field when this famous preacher said to come forward, and they were all representatives of different Christian religious groups. I don't know. There should be a song called "I Don't Know." I don't know where I have been. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know. It's not that I don't care. It's just that you get tired of being beaten down so often, so long, in so many ways. It's difficult to maintain a positive attitude. When I'm driving my Lyft car later, unless I'm arrested and put in psychiatric prison again, about a fifth of the passengers will talk, and I find that interesting. But they don't all talk. And then I play 5 different music stations on the radio as we plunder on through the silence. I don't know, but I've been told. Get my oven from a Tootsie Roll. Let's see. What's going on? What's positive? I'm a member of the Clearwater Community Sailing Center. I haven't been out there in a while, and I have a T-shirt that says, "We'll teach you to sail, take you sailing, or crew your boat." I had a sailing date with a married woman and her friend that I met in the Pontiac Yacht Club in Michigan last summer, and we were supposed to go sailing last Wednesday, a week ago yesterday, but my son-in-law had me drive a pickup truck up to Michigan that he just bought here in Florida, so we missed that. I have to reschedule, but I don't want to take any time away from my driving, my rideshare driving. I need every cent I can get. I don't want to take time off, and then I usually bring a lunch for the people that are on board. Not a real lunch like an apple and a peanut butter sandwich or box of chocolates or something on ice, and some water. You usually get a little hungry and a little thirsty when you're out there scooting around on a Hobie Cat getaway in Clearwater Bay. I've always found you need that. Pretty good place, the Clearwater Community Sailing Center. I've been a member off and on for at least 20 years, and my family used to own a house on the Intercoastal Waterway in Indian Rocks Beach, and I would sail my 22-foot sailboat, sometimes solo, sometimes with company, and up from Indian Rocks Beach out to Clearwater Pass and out into the Gulf of Mexico. I never had any fear about jumping over in the deep water. Some people did, or some people do. Then I was with a crew on a 42-foot island packet several times. The guy really knew his stuff. I've seen the wind come up all of a sudden and shift directions, and he took care of that 42-foot island packet as if it was one of my 14-foot Hobie Cats. He knew exactly what he's doing. The saying in sailing circles is you have to be a knowledgeable sailor. You have to understand what's happening. You know, what are the conditions? What are the possible reactions? Do you trim the sails? Do you let the sheets out completely? Do you tighten up? Do you turn around and let the wind come through the aft? Or do you come about through the front? I always found it easier to do the turn around and let the wind pass the boat over the aft. So when you try to come about through the wind as an attack, you sometimes miss your tack, and then you have to either fall off, get some speed, try again, or get your crew to put a paddle in the water. If you're on a light boat like a Hobie Cat, you can the crew putting a paddle in the water for several strokes will get you through the rest of the tack. I don't know, but I've been told. What other song we got there, Mr. Bobby?
Satisfaction.
All right, try Satisfaction.
Or unless you want Peter, Paul, and Mary first.
What's Peter, Paul, and Mary?
If I Had a Hammer.
No, do the Satisfaction song.
Okie dokie, here we go.
I can't get no satisfaction. I can't get no satisfaction, 'cause I tried, and I tried, and I tried, and I tried. I can't get no, I can't get no. When I'm driving in my car, when a man comes on the radio, it's telling me more and more about some useless information, supposed to fire my imagination. I can't get no, no. Hey, that's what I say. I can't get no satisfaction. I can't get no satisfaction, because I tried, and I tried, and I tried, and I tried. I can't get no, I can't get no.
So here we are back again, Don from Largo.com, an empty suit, nearing the end of my time. I'm 77 years old. I might have another couple of years. I might have 10 years. I eat healthy, diet and exercise on a good day, a day that I'm not procrastinating. I was down to 198 this morning. I'm normally over like 200, 6'1". BMI says I should be down to 189. Can't get no satisfaction. Be positive, be positive, be positive. Go out and run that ride share this afternoon. Hope they don't throw me in psychiatric prison again. Try to get enough money to pay the $7,000 air installation on Friday. I had to give them $3,700 up front. I'm right at $3,700 in my bank account. Be positive. Some famous psychologist, B.F. Skinner, I think many years back, did some experiments, and everybody says be positive, do the positive thing, think positive. There must be something positive out there. I really like these scam callers, you know. Be positive about the scam callers. Somebody called me today and said they were going to take $2,000 out of my bank account to pay something at Walmart. Another scam caller said they're going to take $600 out of my Amazon account to pay out of my checking account to pay a bill at Amazon. Be positive. There must be some positive thing about the people who can live in the mansions on the Intracoastal Waterway and the people who live in trailers on Clearwater Largo Road. I don't find a lot of negativity in my vehicle when I'm riding. I think there's a saying in psychological circles called the ain't it awful syndrome, where you just keep sitting around saying, ain't it awful? You got a drug and alcohol problem running through. It's difficult not to let me be taken up by the needs of needy women who need more drugs and more alcohol to destroy me over solving somebody else's need. It isn't their need, it's the need of the drug. Crack being the one that I'm most familiar with furnishing. I don't like it. I don't like being used. Bothers me. I called the cops last night. They came to my house and I did a 4-minute audio video in front of his body cam explaining my frustration with the Largo Police Department over the refusal to investigate my deceased wife's need to give away thousands of dollars to the 876 Jamaica scammers, and refusal to recognize death threats made by the people at the 876 Jamaica scam. You know, the system that traps people and grabs people. The system that traps people and grabs people. The constant scammers calling on the phone. You can't stop them. They're all telling you to click somewhere. I understand if you click anywhere when they say, do you want to protest the $2,000 Walmart claim that'll be taken out of your bank account? When you click that, you give them total access to everything in your telephone, your bank account information and your emails and your Facebooks, and everything is on there that once you click. But then on the other hand, I walk around all day. They call me between 1 and 1:30 saying they're taking this money out of my bank account. Are they really going to take it? And I talk to other people and they say they're getting the same kind of scam calls all day long. Okay, I've rambled and this is my last radio show. I can't afford any more. I'm just going to say for the 17th time what I said at the beginning. And then Bobby's going to play Dream the Impossible Dream at 2:57 and a half. My impossible dream is that now that the internet has matured, we no longer need to say that you have to have a pile of money capable of giving millions of dollars to Rupert Murdoch or USA Today, Gannett. We no longer need violent mercenary armed class war like USA Today, Gannett did against the people in Detroit, Michigan in 1995, 1 year after the revolution was declared in 1994. We could have a constitutional republic in which individuals who declare for the federal office are not automatically told they don't exist. I don't know. Dream the impossible dream. The impossible dream is to look in the United States Constitution, Article 2, Section 1, 5th paragraph. It says over 35 natural-born citizen. It doesn't say that there is a multi-million-dollar two-party bribe-taking cartel that can say human individuals who are described there do not exist. I believe we could have political existence if we didn't automatically say in this society the individual does not exist and can't have speech, public, private, or otherwise. Let's have a constitutional republic based on consent of the governed rather than a top dollar forthright corporatocracy.
The unbeatable foe, to bear with unbearable sorrow, to run where the brave dare not go, to right the unrightable wrong, to be better far than you are, to try when your arms are too weary, to reach the unreachable star. Oh, this is my quest, to follow that star, no matter how hopeless, no matter how far, to fight for the right without question or pause, to be willing to march into hell for a heavenly cause. And I know if I'll only be true to this glorious quest, and my heart will lie peaceful and calm when I'm laid to my rest. And the world will be better for this, that one man, scorned and covered with scars, still strove with his last ounce of courage to reach the unreachable star.